Channel 47 News. My name is Max Kempf.
And I'm Levi Voorhies. Let's look at today's top stories.
This morning, while on a stroll, the chicken decided to cross the road. While entering the intersection, a KFC truck driven by 22-year-old Haley Schultz struck the victim. The victim was then rushed to a local hospital and admitted into an intensive care unit.
Authorities have yet to determine the cause of the accident, but preliminary findings find that both the victim and the driver failed to perform appropriate driving and walking practices.
Stay tuned after this quick commercial break to find out why the chicken crossed the road.
All right, boys, take 5. Good job.
You know, Max, I've been thinking, why are we always so negative when we give the news? It seems like we always talk about how someone failed to do this and why they didn't do that.
I don't know. They may not know that we can take advantage of our failures, that we might turn them into a potential gain.
I think we should look at the positives from our failures and see what we can learn from them.
You know, this reminds me of a story I heard from somebody who realized they could take advantage of their failures by turning it into a success.
Whenever I hear the word failure, I usually think of making a mistake or not accomplishing my task, doing something wrong. Too often we focus on what we lose when we fail instead of what we can gain. Now you must think I'm crazy. Whenever I fail, I never feel good about it. So how can I learn something from it? But if we take the positives, you'd be surprised.
A young man was working at a bottling factory when he met a woman who was just a few years older. At the time, after working under her authority at the plant, he realized she was the perfect girl for him. He tried to start small conversations, but nothing ever really seemed to catch her attention. That was until the day came along that he was called upon to save the day.
As a freshman at Grand Valley State University, I was ready for the year to start. I'd signed up for all my classes and was ready to begin. I walked out of psychology class first day, thinking that class was going to be easy. We never had homework, never had quizzes, and only took 4 exams. Not that bad, right? Although I felt pretty confident in my psychological abilities, I still took notes, paid attention in class, and studied. Rarely. After a few weeks in class, it was time for our first exam. My professor laid down the answer booklet and then the test booklet. I opened it up to page 1, and the little confidence I had slipped. As I finished the test, I walked up my professor's desk and turned in my test. I turned around and knew that the exam I had just taken was going to ruin my grade for the rest of the semester.
It was just a regular day at the bottling factory when a piece of machinery suddenly broke. Being a member of the maintenance crew, the young man was called upon to work on the machinery. After some time had passed, the young woman decided to go check to see how repairs were coming. At the time, unaware of her approaching, the young man was working on a rusty bolt. As he wrenched on the bolt, no matter how hard he wrenched, he could not bust it loose. Then, just as the bolt busted loose, the wrench slipped off the bolt and pop! Smacked her square in the mouth.
The next psychology class came a lot sooner than I'd expected. Knowing that exams were going to be passed back, I slowly made the 10-minute trudge to class. My professor passed back the exams, and I looked down. That little confidence I had turned into sorrow. I looked down and saw a big, fat D-. How in the world did I fail this exam? I graduated top of my class and always got good grades. What made this one so different?
After smacking her in the mouth, he knew that all chance at a potential relationship had just flown out the window. However, it was at this point that he realized he could take advantage of his failure by caring for her. He quickly helped her to her feet, he then counted her teeth, and then begged for forgiveness.
As I walked out of class, I started looking for other blames on why I failed. I blamed my professor and that he couldn't teach. I blamed the exam and that it was just too hard. But as I got back to my dorm, I thought to myself for a minute, what did I learn from this situation? I learned that I need to study my notes, that I should probably pay more attention in class, and that the only person I can blame for my bad grade was me.
The young man could have easily hid from embarrassment, but rather, he took the initiative to try to help her out. And by doing that, she saw how much he cared for her, and she gave him that chance at a relationship. That relationship then evolved into a marriage, and then into a family, and to them becoming my very own parents.
As it turned out, I passed psychology class by the skin of my teeth. With a D, credit was granted. I, in my mind, had really failed. But then I thought to myself for a moment, did I learn anything from the situation? Of course, I learned many psychology concepts. I learned that I need to study differently, and ultimately, I learned a lot about myself. I learned that it is okay to fail. Honestly, if I wouldn't have failed, I probably would have always looked at failures as being a bad thing. The world and society view failures as a negative thing, but it's time that we look at them in a more positive light.
Welcome to Channel 47 News. Since our last report, we have an update on the chicken.
It seems that while the chicken was injured, he will survive. Since the accident occurred, chickens have started using crosswalks and caution when crossing the road.
After this minor setback, regulations have been made to save as many chickens as possible. And after discussing with our chief analyst, Robert E. Frost, we have found why the chicken crossed the road. The chicken wanted to cross the road less traveled by. This is Max Kempf.
And I'm Levi Voorhies, saying good night.
And stay classy, East Lansing.
How many times have we been put in a situation like this, where we fail at something so badly that we want to hide from embarrassment? And when we're put in a situation like this, how many times have we taken that initiative to take advantage of our failures? My father took advantage of his failure, and it resulted in one of the greatest achievements of his life.
We are all unsuccessful at times, and we all fall down. The best thing to do is to pick ourselves right up and try again. Remembering to always learn from our failures, whether it be failing a test, not passing our driving test, not making a sports team, or even failing to be on time. While these are small mistakes, we can learn a lot from them.
At one point or another, we all fail.
It's how we react to our failures that defines us.
Henry Ford once said, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently.
Always get back up and keep trying, because every failure counts.
Where should I begin? Maybe one of your cheesy stories? Or how about some of the times you talk in your sleep? But I know one thing that we all have in common is your passion to serve. You have showed us what it truly means to be a servant leader, always putting the members and our team before yourself. I'm proud to call you my friend and an honorary member of the Man's Club. Michigan FFA, your Region 5 State Vice President, Max Kempf.
Levi Voorhies, aka Grandpa Levi. Your passion for always being on time is contagious, along with your love for the NCG Theater. I envy your uncanny ability to sense when there is an open pen in your back seat, and the way that you are always there for us. So thank you. Michigan FFA, your state sentinel, Levi Voorhies.